Okay, so what I mean when I'm talking about dreamer mode, because I used to be that. Before Superman basically got KO'd by Bendis and basically opened up me to the fact that a lot of these companies don't really understand their own characters or their archetypes anymore, and the sheer spit and vinegar that came out of me, that didn't galvanize me uh, until it just all hit all at once. And I'm like, I'm going to have to make what I want in order to see what I want. Because so much stuff out there wasn't giving me what I wanted. So that's why I started writing my serial. Uh, and I really didn't start talking about it too much until after I had at least 2 books under my belt and posted onto the blog. I wasn't just constantly talking about doing a thing, I was actually doing the thing. And usually when I see other people, like, this is how I'll look at other projects and stuff too, for indies or Indiegogos, Kickstarters. I want to be able to see the results of what I'm looking at. That's why it's a good idea to always have examples of stuff in your Kickstarter or Indiegogo. Like, this is like the progress we've made on this. This is how many stories are inside. Here are the writers that are part of it. Especially if it's like a book anthology that's being funded. And it's a good idea, like, if you have some people that are known in certain circles, then put their names in there too, alongside the newer people. It's kind of a way to give a wedge to help lift the project up. And especially if you're doing a book, I would say not only just list the people that are part of your project, but maybe even showcase a little example of the prose that's going to be inside the book. Or say, like, if you're doing a comic book, I would say put a little bit of the script in there. And this is what I'm looking at when I'm looking at other creatives talking about doing things. It's like, are they actually doing things, or are they just talking about it? So say, like, if you have a comic book strip or script rather, you just put it something simple in your feed of, even if you don't think it's good enough, you're showcasing the people that, yes, I'm working on this. This is the reason why I will post samples of what I'm working on as I keep going forward with Upload Protocol. And I even do it without, editing, so people can see where it's like, yes, I'm making editing flubs. You can see where I make a mistake on words and everything. Grammarly constantly corrects me on things, but I just want to show people it's like, yes, you can still keep writing, still keep doing things. Don't let typos and stuff hold you back. And even in terms of comic book writing or scripting, yeah, in the case of that, you can have something as simple as image, a skyline, downtown, whatever. And then you can basically mention, okay, as the hero is flying over the city skyscape, he spots a man in a rhino costume. It's just, again, something simple. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be oh so perfect. It just showcases that you're actually doing what you say you're doing. That's the reason why I hate the word aspiring added to writing, script writing, art, anything like that. It's like, no, if you're writing a book, you're writing a book. If you're script writing, you're script writing. If you're screenwriting, you're screenwriting. If you're writing an RPG manual or module, you're writing. There's either you are or you aren't. There's no aspiring in that whole entire frickin' equation, people. Don't add aspiring to your stuff, because that is a crutch. So my primary advice for a lot of people out there is, don't start talking about your stuff until you have scripts or something to show for it, like a legitimate story. I'm just taking my own experience here, but that's the reason why I didn't really play Uplift Protocol much until I had a few books under my belt and I had something to showcase for it. And it's the reason why I've gone back and I'm commissioning internal art for it, because I'd rather have a story to fit the art into rather than a story surrounded by the art, if that makes sense, to where it's not concept art. It's art of a story that's already in progress, that's already being built, that's already happening. That's what really gets me about stuff. It's like, do what you're going to say. Don't constantly blow smoke up people's butt about it. If it's something you're excited about, make sure you properly build it. again, the building blocks don't have to be, oh so perfect and special. All it has to do is function as showing, like, yes, I'm working on this story. Care to join me? That's the reason why even when I'm done putting up a protocol on the blog, I'm still going to go back through, and it's like, okay, now it's time to sharpen the stones and shape them. Because I'll have pretty good clay by the end of all this stuff and it's said and done. But it's part of me was extremely impatient. It's like, you know what, I might as well put this out now, so at least that way I can build up momentum as I go along before official final release, And that way people could see how the bread is baked, or at least how I want to do things. And yes, there will be stuff that I'll go back and I'll be changing things. I'll be re-editing things. I'll be taking out older versions of the draft where it's like, oh, this information is out of date now. There is a handful of things where it's like, oh, I basically changed this to that. Again, that's what it is when it comes down to writing. Sometimes its final form won't appear until later, But I'm just happy that enough people are joining me on this journey just to see how the cookie crumbles and whatnot. So, have a good day, everybody.